Sweet Gaga, a beloved gorilla in a Louisiana private zoo, had been struggling to stand for days. Concerned visitors noticed her suffering and swollen abdomen, suspecting complications with her prolonged pregnancy. Despite their concerns, zookeepers dismissed the warnings, reassuring everyone that Gaga was fine. This indifference was not new, as past visitors had also flagged issues with her health, only to be ignored. Gaga's condition continued to deteriorate as she became increasingly weak and unresponsive. The situation gained traction when Charlie, a social media influencer, visited the zoo after being alerted by one of his followers. Seeing the gorilla's distress and the staff's lack of concern, Charlie posted about the incident, sparking widespread online outrage. Visitors and commenters shared their observations of neglect at the zoo, including other animals appearing unhealthy and depressed. The focus shifted to Gaga's unusual pregnancy, which had lasted far beyond the typical gestation period for gorillas, prompting experts and the public to demand immediate medical intervention. As pressure mounted, Mark, an experienced veterinarian, attempted to assess Gaga's condition but was turned away by the zoo staff. Public outcry escalated, leading to protests outside the facility and police involvement. Protesters demanded the zoo address the concerns about Gaga's welfare and the broader mistreatment of animals. Despite the growing backlash, the zoo owners remained unresponsive, fueling further outrage from the community. Mark finally gained access to Gaga's enclosure, where he was horrified by the conditions. The gorilla was lying in filth, weak and immobile, surrounded by uneaten food. Her appearance suggested she was pregnant, but Mark suspected otherwise. The zookeeper's inconsistent stories and attempts to downplay the situation only deepened his concerns. Mark requested an ultrasound but was told to return the next day, as the zoo's veterinarian claimed his examination would disrupt operations. The following morning, Mark returned to find many animal enclosures mysteriously empty, with the remaining animals, including Gaga, still in distress. Suspecting foul play, Mark shared an update online, drawing reporters to the scene. During a confrontation with the zoo's veterinarian, Mark learned of a shocking suggestion to euthanize Gaga and replace her. Appalled by such disregard for the gorilla's life, Mark knew immediate action was necessary to save her. With growing public attention and media coverage, Mark and other advocates intensified their efforts to hold the zoo accountable. Gaga's case became a symbol of broader issues in private zoos, raising awareness about animal welfare and sparking calls for stricter regulations. As the investigation unfolded, the public's demands for justice and transparency continued to grow, forcing authorities to intervene and protect the animals from further harm. Mark's determination to examine the gorilla, Sweet Gaga, led him into a distressing and chaotic situation at the zoo. As the ailing animal's condition worsened, a crowd of reporters and activists gathered outside, protesting the zoo's apparent negligence. Despite his repeated attempts to offer free veterinary assistance, Mark was denied access, revealing the management's troubling indifference to Gaga's plight. His public plea to the protesters about the zoo's inaction intensified the situation, ultimately prompting police intervention. Recognizing the urgency, the police instructed the zoo to let Mark proceed. Reluctantly granted access, Mark carefully entered the enclosure, where Gaga lay motionless, her vacant eyes reflecting her despair. Mark quickly assessed the dire state of her health and prepared for emergency surgery. His team worked tirelessly to address the critical blockage in her intestines, a life-threatening condition caused by the accumulation of undigested food in a plastic wrapper, a glaring sign of the zoo's negligence. The surgery was grueling, requiring hours of meticulous effort to remove the blockage and repair the damage. The team's focus and expertise were unwavering, driven by their commitment to save Gaga. As the operation concluded, Mark remained vigilant, knowing the gorilla's recovery depended on the critical hours ahead. Gaga was moved to a recovery area, where her condition was closely monitored. Over the following days, she showed signs of improvement, gradually regaining her strength and appetite. The public, who had rallied around Gaga, celebrated her progress. Videos of her recovery were shared widely, garnering praise for Mark's skill and dedication. However, Mark also took the opportunity to highlight the zoo's neglect, emphasizing the need for better animal care. The incident became a turning point, sparking discussions about wildlife conservation and the responsibilities of zoo management. Mark's quick actions not only saved Gaga, but also raised awareness about the mistreatment she endured. In the weeks following the surgery, Gaga made a remarkable recovery, her health improving under Mark's care. Meanwhile, Mark's heroic efforts gained national attention, elevating him to celebrity status in the veterinary world. His clinic became a trusted destination for pet owners, and his reputation as an advocate for animals grew. Backed by public support, Mark spearheaded a petition against the negligent zoo owners, leading to their prosecution and the relocation of the remaining animals to better facilities. Sweet Gaga's story became a symbol of hope and a reminder of the importance of compassion and responsibility toward animals. Thanks to Mark's expertise and determination, she was given a second chance at life. The incident left a lasting impact, inspiring people to share their own experiences with zoos and advocate for improved standards of animal care.